Happy Autistic Pride Day, or you would think, right? Sorry, this is my third attempt to make this video. Dear Lord. Okay. Thank you to the organisers of the Autism Show for giving us a stall today. Brilliant. You know, I saw so many friends and colleagues that I've worked with in the past, and it was, again, a brilliant experience. Very loud, very busy, but that's what you get, you know, with something as big as the Autism Show. Not much you can do about that. I'm making this video simply because today, on Autistic Pride Day, I was at Autistic Inclusive Meets stall, our autistic organisation, and a woman came over and she said, "I've been reading about you all night." Now, I was like, okay. She then put her hand on the leaflets that we have got against cures, so-called cures. We're not ill, you know, we're not diseased, we're not injured, we don't need to be cured, you cannot cure autism. So we've got leaflets explaining about the different abusive treatments that people are using on autistic people. One of them is called MMS. It's Miracle Mineral Solution. It's chlorine dioxide bleach. A man called Jim Humble decided that he would make chlorine dioxide a cure-all. He would market it as a cure-all for AIDS, cancer, the common cold, and neurological differences such as autism. He then taught everything he knew to a woman called Cara Rivera in America, who has an autistic son, who decided to write a book called Healing the Symptoms Known as Autism. And she put in it, you know, that autism is caused by parasites. And the way to get rid of it, rid of autism, rid of the parasites, is to use chlorine dioxide bleach in enemas and oral solutions. Now, the enema part came from a man called Andreas Kalka, and he developed what he calls the parasite protocol, which is using it in enemas. So stuffing a enema hose up your autistic child's anus, you know, pinning them down and putting bleach inside them. Now, obviously, this is going to cause a lot of damage. You know, you're going to have loss of bowel lining, colon mucosa coming out. You're going to have pink urine, green stools, seizures, you know, rashes, fever, diarrhea. One child in America, their bowel collapsed. You know, they now got a colostomy bag. So it causes a lot of damage. But the parents are told by Cara Rivera and her followers that everything that's coming out, including the pink urine, including the green stools, including the bowel lining, is the autism leaving. The bowel lining is apparently the parasites. And you can just look me up, so Emma Dalmain, Melissa Eaton, Aviva Siegler. At the time she was using Amanda Siegler, so you'll have to put that in. Just look us up. We've done a lot of work. There's a lot of stuff to look up. Just put in bleach, put in our names, put bleach, go and look on Google, look in the news, you know, and you'll see exactly who's doing this and how it's been done. I've reported 13 sets of parents in the UK alone over the past 7 years or so. Anyway, so let's get back to the hand. I've been reading about you all night. And then she looked at me, looked up, and she went, "And I came to tell you that it's not bleach." Now, I've said, okay, what is it? What is it then? She said, "It's not bleach. You can put it into drinking water. You know, it's a water purifier. It's not bleach." I said, "What is it made out of?" "It's not bleach. What is it made out of?" "Well, it's chlorine dioxide." So I said, "I know that." I said, "What is it made out of?" She couldn't tell me what it was made out of. So I can tell you what it's made out of. Chlorine dioxide is made out of citric acid and sodium chlorite. Mixed together, it makes chlorine dioxide. Chlorine dioxide is what they use in swimming pools. It's that smell that hits you when you go into a swimming pool. It's also used in drinking water at very minute quantities. All right, so one drop is 550 times what the human body is meant to consume in 8 ounces of water, which is what they're using in the enemas and in these doses that they're giving autistic children. So I've explained to her what it is, sodium chloride, citric acid put together is chlorine dioxide. It's bleach. No, it's not. I said, yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. I said, you're thinking of sodium chloride, which is salt. Okay, you're not thinking of the right thing. She said, well, I've used it on myself. I said, that's fine. You can go home and use it on yourself. That's your right as an adult. You do that. But if you've used it on your son, that's abuse. That's abusive. So she's looked up at this son, and he was lovely, lovely autistic adult. And she said, I've used cranio and homeopathy on him. And I said, what for? What exactly is it you're trying to do here, And she said, just make him more able to communicate, make him talk more, I said, look, if you want to help your son, that is not the way to help him, It's not going to work. She said, but MMS has cured, oh gosh, what's it called? I'll think of the name, hold on. Cholera? I think it was cholera. They've cured cholera and other things in Africa and other countries. And I said, no, they haven't. Because if they had, if it actually worked, the NHS would be using it because it's very cheap. No, the NHS don't want you to cure autism, because it's so lucrative. I said, okay, we can agree, right, that some people may not want to help autistic people. They'll use things like ABA because it's very lucrative, telling people that ABA works, and they may not want to help autistic people. I said, but curing is, you cannot do that. You can't cure an autistic person because they're not sick. She then said that she hasn't vaccinated her children, apart from this one who's autistic, and he's autistic because of the vaccines, apparently. It was just, basically, just don't go up to autistic people on Autistic Pride Day and tell them that you use bleach and that bleach cures autism. It's not a good look. It's not a nice thing to do. In fact, don't ever do that. And maybe, just don't approach autistic people with that shit. And yes, I said shit because what you did today, I consider abusive. It was not on. It's not nice. It's not. And the thing is, you didn't even know what you were talking about, which makes it even worse, Please don't come to me if you don't know what you're talking about. Don't come to me if you don't know what chlorine dioxide is made out of. That's ridiculous. Why would you even? Anyway, we had a few other people, debating vaccines with us and debating ABA with us. And, that's fine. But coming over to me on a stall where there's, children walking around, etc., and saying something like that, trying to justify that, don't do it. Have some respect, for me, for autistic people in general, because you walked away not looking great. You didn't prove your point. No one's ever going to prove their point when it comes to chlorine dioxide curing anything, because it doesn't. So that was my day. I'd like to thank our directors, Sarah Challenger for her help yesterday, Jenny Payne for her help yesterday and today, William Vanderpoy for his help yesterday and today. Thank you so much for your dedication to Autistic Inclusive Meets. We wouldn't be where we are without the directors we have, and the volunteers we have, and the members we have. We have amazing, wonderful, supportive parents, wonderful autistic adults that attend the groups, and we wouldn't be who we are without you. So thank you to those who made the journey to come see us at the XL as well. We'll see you Monday, Thursday and Saturdays. And it was lovely to see so many friends that we hadn't seen for so long. Callum Brazo was on our stall with his clothing line Haute Couture. That's AUT Couture. Go check it out. Go Google it. Go have a look on Instagram. Wonderful clothing line. Also, we have an Autistic Pride on July 30th. If you go and look at our Facebook page, Autistic Inclusive Meets community page. So if you have a look on there, have a look in events, and you'll see our Pride. And please don't stand in front of your adult son and say, well, I've tried this on him and I've tried that on him. Because none of it has worked, has it? Because he's still autistic. And he doesn't need to be hearing you saying that you tried to cure him of something that's not an illness or a disease or a vaccine injury. You know, we're not all the things that people have said we are. We've heard that we're a Holocaust, that we're vaccine damaged. You know, it's just not good. It's not positive, it's not constructive, it's not moving forward, is it? So if you've got an autistic child, look for the positives. Yes, there may be times that your child is very challenged and you may need to support them a lot more than normal at other times. But that's the same for anyone. Everyone has challenges. Everyone has days that are hard. So look for the triggers, look for the reasons that your child is having these problems, these issues, and solve them. You know, give them means to communicate, give them means to cope. You know, because coping in this world for an autistic person is extremely hard. You know, today at the Autism Show, we had to, and this is nothing against the Autism Show, we'd have to do this anyway, but I haven't masked during this whole video, but me masking is, hi, how are you? Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Really? Oh, wow. Well, we'd love you to come to our groups. That doesn't mean I don't mean what I've just said, but I've had to say it in a way that's acceptable to a neurotypical person to make them comfortable. Because if I said, hi, how are you? Wow, we'd love you to come to our groups. They're going to think I'm insincere because I haven't made eye contact and been whoo, like this. Because that's another thing to think of for the NTs. We accommodate you way more than you've ever accommodated us. Ever. We bend over backwards to live in a world that's not inclusive in many ways. So please, just think about that before you don't include us, because we deserve to be included and we deserve to be treated like human beings. Because today, having to defend our neurology, having to say, it is Bleach, was a bit long. All right. So thank you to everyone who came and saw us today, who was positive, who's looking forward to attending our groups and events. Thank you. And again, to the lady who came, please stop using correct treatments on your son. Please just give him ways to communicate. Please just put things in place and stop abusing him with things that will do more harm than good. You know, as I said, you can't cure autism, so accept him. Thank you. Bye-bye.